Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. Today I'll be reviewing The Boys' final season and also just overall thoughts on the entire show. And yeah, this marks the end of the great peak era that we got of weekly peak shows for like 2 months. So it's sad to see this go, but we still also have some good stuff coming up soon. Alright, before we get to our spoiler free section, let's do our video quote. Today's video quote is: "To seek something is to believe in its possibility." Alright, I guess this non-spoiler section is going to be mainly for people who haven't watched The Boys at all and want to get into it. But I will say, if you did watch season 4, I would recommend it still. If you made it through 4 seasons of the show, I feel like you should at least see the conclusions to all of these characters and stuff like that. So, kind of like, why not watch it at that point? And I don't think it's that bad where you shouldn't watch it at all, and like Stranger Things or something like that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it if you already watched all 4 seasons. So now for the people who haven't watched it at all, the newcomers, I would say it's still worth it. There's a lot of good stuff in this show, even if this season's not the best thing ever. I still think that is worth it to some extent, especially if you don't care too much about plot heavy things and you're alright with getting let down, seeing how something's so good and then kind of goes mediocre towards the end. So if you're fine with that, then yeah, I would recommend it. And there's also some good stuff from this show, and I definitely took away some stuff from the show, so I think that's also a really good thing too, because if I couldn't take anything away from the show, then I really wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But if you want an overall flawless show from start to beginning, then this is probably not the show for you. Alright, now let's go into spoilers with my review. Alright, first thing I'd say is the comedy. The comedy is great as always, and I think this was actually the main thing that helped carry this entire season, because without the comedy, the season would have definitely been a lot more painful to watch. Like, I love the AI jokes with the Flight 37 video, the Homelander Jesus joke, and how they dragged that out throughout the entire season with the Bible and stuff like that too was hilarious. Just overall, the comedy was just so good, especially seeing like Homelander just going insane for the entire season basically. That actor, Anthony Starr, he did such an amazing job. He's definitely going up there, legendary actor. And talking about Homelander, I think that's another main thing that carries this season. Like, his performance is great and his character, whether he's being funny, serious, or anything, he's just so much fun to watch. I could just never predict what he's going to do next. Another highlight I have for Homelander that I really liked was the Homelander versus Ryan fight. Like, it really gave me lots of like Invincible vibes during that fight, and honestly it was pretty hard to watch. Yeah, overall Homelander was great. His conclusion was great too, which I'll get to later on, but yeah, I'm fine with his conclusion too. But yeah, one of my main highlights was the Homelander versus Ryan fight. That was great, and just seeing him going insane the entire season. Alright, next character we gotta talk about is A-Train. A-Train standing up to Homelander. I was surprised that they killed him off the first episode, but honestly, I think it was a good play. Sure, I wish he got to do more, but it was just so good just to see him standing up to Homelander, someone finally standing up to Homelander, and then him not running into someone, which is got us into this whole mess in the first place, but him not running into someone being his downfall was just a really nice detail. I love to see that. Rest in peace to GOAT. Alright, the next character I gotta talk about is Starlight. Yeah, she was great this season. I do feel like she was a little underpowered at some parts and powerful at other parts, so I guess that's more inconsistent with the power scale, which I think goes with everyone. But yeah, I just love Starlight's character development, how she was willing to die for her followers, and like the guilt she was dealing with, just being on the run and stuff like that. And just 'cause we don't know what happened to her during that year off screen, but we can obviously see how it changed her and how easily she's willing to go with Butcher's plan. And yeah, like Starlight is getting like all these people killed basically. It's a lot of guilt she's carrying. And just to see her character dealing with that guilt is just great to see. And I also really like the Starlight and her dad plot line, because we actually got to meet her dad and, close that loop. And I think it was just like a nice little episode to see like how normal people are dealing with Homelander's influence and like how deep it runs, like how it's in the police department, how they're rounding up starlighters and stuff like that. Like how it's affecting normal people and not just the big superheroes and stuff like that. I think that was really cool to see and definitely one of my favorite aspects of this season. Lastly, I love the speech to Starlight, so this is positive for both of them, like how he got that name and how, he gave motivation to Starlight to basically keep trying and keep having hope if no one else does. And it was a really good speech. Some of the best writing in this season, I feel like, where there was a lot more inconsistent bad writing moments, which kind of sucked. But it's good that we still have highs like this. All right, so that was a lot of positives, which means we got some negatives. Because if you're reading the title of this review, I do not like this season that much. Let's go with the main negative thing, which is definitely the elephant in the room. We gotta talk about Soldier Boy. When I first thought they killed off Soldier Boy early on, what, episode 2 or 3, whatever it was, honestly, I was pretty disappointed because I wanted to see him more, and then I realized they didn't kill him off. So I was happy because I thought we were gonna get to see a really good character arc for Soldier Boy, and I just love seeing his character in season 3 and his dynamic clash with the other ones in season 3, like the boys. But yeah, we did not get a good character arc for Soldier Boy, and I don't even know what they're doing with Soldier Boy at the end because they just frozen him again, I guess. So I don't know what they're doing with him. Yeah, as you could tell, you guys probably heard about it on social media and stuff like that. But yeah, we have the whole Soldier Boy character be inconsistent. Like, he wants to help Homelander one moment, he doesn't want to help Homelander the other moment, and just keeps going back and forth, like at least 3 to 4 times, which is ridiculous in my opinion. And yes, I know this is for the Vault Rising setup and stuff like that to make Soldier Boy have like emotions and stuff like that, and they want to get people interested in Vault Rising, but I feel like plenty of people already liked Soldier Boy before this season, and now it kind of had the opposite effect where I feel like most people don't like Soldier Boy now because of all this inconsistency with his character. That's one of my main complaints of this entire season. Like, we're spending the final season, 5 seasons of these characters and stuff like that, and we're using like most of this season for build up for a prequel spin-off show. Like, that's just ridiculous in my opinion. We should be spending time with these characters and actually getting to say goodbye to them and having them finish their character arcs and stuff like that instead of rushing them, which I really do hate because they had to put this whole Vault Rising thing into it. So I feel like this really harms the season, and that's probably one of my biggest complaints of this entire season, especially with Homelander too, because we don't see Homelander loving Stormfront that much, especially in season 2, especially from as far as I can remember. They never displayed that at all, so that didn't help. And then we don't know Soldier Boy's and Claire, or whatever her name is, Stormfront's relationship, so I feel like that also really doesn't help. So like, it kind of felt like it was a more casual thing. We never really seen him love her or even heard him talk about her like that, and maybe he's just hiding his emotions and stuff like that, which is fine. But if it's going to be playing this much of a major role, I feel like you have to make it more believable for the audience for that to happen. And yeah, I guess later on you get the love makes people unpredictable line, but like I said, we never really seen this from Homelander or Soldier Boy, so I feel like you really can't really use that. Now, if we did get to see this love between Stormfront with Homelander and Soldier Boy, then yeah, I think that line would actually make a lot more sense, and that would actually be pretty good writing. But yeah, we just don't see that at all. And then yeah, another main negative is we got like basically 2 filler episodes. I guess the Rage episode wasn't really filler because they got to find out where the V1 was or whatever. But honestly, I found it pretty boring. I think it was cool that the boys got to express their inner turmoil with like how they were actually feeling and about Butcher's crazy genocide plan and stuff like that. But honestly, I just found it a bit boring, especially the next episode too, where I think episode 5, where the different personalities and stuff like that. I think that's definitely the worst episode in the season, and it definitely felt like filler, which kind of sucked because the other one kind of felt like filler for me too. And yeah, I felt like it was really boring. I think the only stuff that really did carry that episode was Firecracker, which I gotta say she was hilarious in this season, and seeing her go up against Homelander and her death was really sad. So that was the only thing that really got me interested in that episode with her and the church and stuff like that, choosing Homelander over her own church, family, friends, and whatever like that. So other than that, it was just pretty boring to me. I didn't care about any of the other perspectives. Maybe Black Noir, but even then, not that much. It's like, it still doesn't even hit the same, especially Firecracker's death, because you can't make us care about these characters in the final season. Like, we had 2 seasons. Like, she was introduced last season, season 4. We had 2 seasons to build up these characters, and I feel like now they're just trying to rush everything and get us to like these characters and kill them off in the same episode, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Now I feel like if they built it up up and seeing Firecracker doing stuff for the church overall from season 4 all the way to season 5, and then Homelander killed her, I feel like it would be a much more emotional death and stuff like that because we're actually invested in these characters. But since we're already in the final season, I just care about the boys. I don't care about these other characters. One last thing before I get to the finale. I think Sister Sage's plan is pretty dumb, which she just wants to build like a bunker or whatever. Like, what was the whole point of season 4? Is she had this grand master plan and this was the plan? I really thought they were just gonna switch it up and there was gonna be another plan to it, but no. I guess she generally just wanted to build a bunker and read a book or something like that. Yeah, that was really lame for like the smartest character ever. Yeah, I know writing smart characters are hard, but I was really expecting more, especially after season 4 and with the whole build up where she planned that entire season basically, and it went exactly to her plan. So going into the finale, I was pretty concerned because they had a lot of plot lines to wrap up, but honestly, they wrapped them up. Well, I wouldn't say they wrapped them up pretty good, but they wrapped them up. I feel like they did the bare minimum for most of these plot lines, like Ryan, the Gen V characters, which I'll talk about in a bit, but yeah, like they did the bare minimum to address them, so I guess that works out. Although I was expecting a lot more, sadly. But yeah, I think overall the finale was pretty good. Like probably one of the best episodes in the season, and probably the better aspects of the entire season. But it's weird because I never seen a show with I won't say a good finale, but a decent finale and like a super mid overall season did surprise me because I thought the finale would be mid or bad like the season is, but no, the finale actually kind of helped it. But there is still some complaints about it, especially with the writing. The Homelander fight felt way too short for me and way too easy. I feel like they just defeated him so fast. Like I was not expecting that, especially since I feel like they kind of nerfed Homelander in there. Like I seen people point out that like Kimiko got cut in half from his lasers in like season 1, season 2, whatever it was, and now Kimiko could just tank it, I guess. I guess you could argue it was the radiation that helped her, stuff like that, but I don't know how that would give her more durability. And then you have like Homelander flying into space in like 2 seconds, but he can't fly out the window when Butcher and Ryan are grabbing him, stuff like that. Then obviously like the Deep and stuff like that. Starlight, like why would Starlight take the Deep to a beach where he's strong, even if she doesn't know about it? Yeah, you could say, oh, she was trying to talk him out of it and stuff like that. She wasn't trying to find a fight. Yeah, that's obvious, but why would you still take your enemy to an area where there's no electricity? For worst case, you have to fight him, and where he's at his strongest, it just doesn't make sense. You literally just can't defend that. Which yeah, that's more just like power scale and inconsistency and stuff like that. Yeah, it really is kind of sad to see that, which is I guess kind of nitpicking because overall it was decent, but I do wish because I feel like I never had these problems with season 1 and season 3. I feel like the writing was definitely a lot worse here in this overall season. But I will admit they did give a good conclusion to all the main boys. I like Butcher's conclusion, Huey and Starlight's, taking in Ryan, all that stuff was good. So I'm good with that. I do wish they explored more Vought though, because if Vought just comes back and do the same exact thing, I feel like that's kind of lame. I wish they established something. I mean, I guess they have like an agency working against it, but it's like, is that going to be enough? I don't know. That's me personally, because if the same thing happens again, it's kind of like, what's the point of the show, basically? You know, because there's always gonna be another Homelander, so I don't like how that was left ambiguous, I guess. Especially Ashley's ended. I really did like Ashley and her trying to do good the entire season, basically, and she finally has her one good act. I just wish we got to know more about her ending and like where she is and stuff like that, because I was actually really liking her character this entire season, and like she's been one of the characters that we stuck with since like season 1. So yeah, kind of sucks that we didn't get to see her like real ending. All right, and that is my review for The Boys. Sorry for the bit of a longer video. There's a lot of complaints. If you happen to see a longer video, then yeah, that probably means I have a lot of complaints about the show. But overall, I'll give this show a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I know I'm probably gonna get slandered and stuff like that because that's a crazy rating, but I think it's justified. First off, I just want to say season 4 was a transition season. Season 4 was building up for season 5. So I was a bit higher on season 4 because I thought they would do really really good justice for season 5, and it'll be really action packed since season 4 wasn't. But no, season 5 was not that, which really did suck. So that really did bring down my rating of season 4, since that was just a build up one. And then season 5 was just another build up. Like 2 transition seasons back to back is crazy to me. And we got filler episodes in the season 2, which definitely didn't help. So it's like, what was the whole point of season 4? Especially if Sister Sage's plan was just nothing basically, and then they got rid of the virus plotline within like episode 3. So it's like, what was the whole point of season 4 at that point? You know, it just seems really dumb in my opinion. Then you really think about it, season 1, which is amazing, season 3, which is really good, but even then the finale was a bit iffy. It was still great, but you know, there was some bad stuff in it. Those are arguably the only 2 good seasons. I guess season 2 had some good stuff too, but overall it's not a good season. It just had good highs season 2. So really, 3 out of 5 seasons. But if we're being honest, only 2 out of 5 seasons are good. That's really disappointing. So I think a 7 out of 10 is pretty good, to be honest. Especially, it probably should be lower, but season 1 and 3 have really good moments, and season 2 of course has highs, and you know, comedy and stuff like that, and the writing is overall good for the entire show. Max, I'll probably say 7.5. But yeah, then I'm just gonna do a quick note on the lack of Gen V characters. I love Gen V. I honestly think Gen V is better than the boys. I think I have a higher rating of it, of like a 7.5 or 8 for Gen V. So it really does suck to see that get canceled and waste Marie Moreau because she's a Homelander threat, and they just have her Ubering citizens to Canada in the finale. I really wish they played a bigger role on the Gen V characters. It really did suck, and just seeing them interact with the boys would have been great, and that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, that was another negative which affected my rating of the overall entire season, especially when you build up Gen V for 2 seasons and make Marie as powerful as Homelander. It's just like, why at that point? And we don't even get to finish those character arcs that they set up in Gen V. So it just really is dumb. Alright, but that is it for me. I'm sorry for the longer video, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be posting 2 videos next week, hopefully, which I'll do my Mandalorian review earlier in the week, and then I'll be seeing the movie, and I'll get a video out for the Mando and Grogu movie for you guys. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.